Hey, this is Matt once again with about 10 of the videos of the paid requests. This time for Gia. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, he had this topic about superhero movie fatigue, if it's a thing. Pretty much me talking a bit about that. I mean, you just say maybe it's not superhero movie fatigue, it's bad movie fatigue. Because I'm sure if these superhero movies were worth a crap, there wouldn't be a fatigue. But there's a fatigue because there's been a lot of crap coming out involving superheroes. But I mean, to be fair, I still will say there's a superhero fatigue because even though there are a couple ones I like, the Batman, Joker, Into the Spider-Verse, and the sequel, I've still said and I maintain in streams that I don't want to see any more superhero films, not for a long ass time. Deadpool 3, at this point I'm not interested. I didn't even see the trailer for, a variety of reasons, but I didn't see the trailer for it. I'm so yeah, for me superhero fatigue is a real thing. Absolutely. Granted, again, there's been a lot of bad movies recently involving, but it's like I said before. You can have your favorite cereal, but for not all, but for a lot of people, they don't eat the same cereal every day. Or your favorite meal. A lot of people, they don't eat the same meal every day. You change it up. You know what? I don't want to have pizza today. I want to have hot dogs. Or I want to have a burger. Or a cheeseburger. I want to have some chicken. I want to have eggs and bacon and sausage. I want to have some pancakes. Actually, I want some French toast. I want variety. And you also want it to taste good. Does it taste like ass or sweaty balls? Then you don't want that either. I mean, I wrote down in the past, 6 years, the superhero films that have come out: Captain Marvel, Dark Phoenix, Glass, the new Hellboy, Wonder Woman 84, Bloodshot, Birds of Prey, Shang-Chi, Black Adam, Morbius, Thor 4, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, Venom, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, Ant-Man, Quantumania, The Eternals, The Flash, The Marvels, Blue Beetle, Black Widow, Black Dildo, Suck the Fuck Off a Duck of a Mutt. How many superhero films? Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter. Like, all those films I named, well, I know some of them haven't come out yet, but it's crap. It's shit. And if you like them, fine, but a lot of people found those movies, every one I listed, crap. Maybe not all of you did, but a lot of you did. Because there's been a lot of crap. And that's even like your Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone, I thought was a lame film. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I thought it sucked at the beginning. The third act, didn't mind. But I think that film has issues. And you still got, like I said, Kraven the Hunter, Venom 3, Deadpool 3. What was it? The James Gunn's new DC and Superman movies and all that stuff. Joker 2, that's what I was thinking of. It will still keep going. And It's like a lot of these subgenres they take precedence, like the slasher films. Think of the slasher films in the early 80s. You had, Friday the 13th, and, before that, Halloween. You had Terror Train, you had Prom Night, you had, all these films coming out. And then 81, 82, 83, 84, just an onslaught of slasher films because they saw, wow, we could put a little bit of money, get maximum profit, churn them out, and then when you kept seeing them all the time, it didn't feel special. And a lot of times when you just push this stuff out, there's not a lot of quality control. And at times they'll hire people that are hacks, or hire people that don't know what they're doing, or hire people that don't have any passion for it. Or just diluted by other forces. Back then it was, the MPA, maybe want to cut out blood, want to cut out this and that. Nowadays, put your woke politics and agendas into it. Which makes it less fun for a lot of the viewers out there to watch your product. Go figure. I said before, if I never saw another new superhero film for at least 5 years, I'd be more than fine. Now, granted, I'm in the mindset that the movies I liked the most growing up was Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Hard Target, Broken Arrow, Commando, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, Lionheart, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Out for Justice, I Come in Peace, Big Trouble in Little China, Enter the Dragon. Those are the films I prefer. Not superhero movies. That's just personal taste. But even those films, dried up. When Stallone, Schwarzenegger, those guys are making these movies, and granted, some of them are trying to do different stuff, but audience got tired of them, and they want call it a fickle audience, but they want something that feels a bit more fresh or feels a bit new, and it's tough to try to one up yourself. So when something new comes around, they grasp on that, especially if it's done well. So hey, Jurassic Park, and then you got Twister, Independence Day, all these spectacle movies. We don't go away towards the one-man army movies and more towards these special effects spectacles. Now, superhero films are the trend of today, but many trends do not last forever. For many trends, there's always going to be a point where the floor drops out of them. Drops all the fuck out, and they deep dive right down, and they break their damn tailbone. And just, how can I miss you if you don't go away? Same with superhero movies. And again, a good chunk of it is a bad movie fatigue as well. Just like I said, if I go through this list, Captain Marvel, don't care it made $1 billion. I thought it sucked. A lot of people thought it sucked. Had stupid, dumb stuff like the cat alien that attacked Nick Fury's eye, when it previously was set up that someone I trusted took my eye. And then it became a joke. Just like Nick Fury became a joke. Brie Larson did not make for an interesting protagonist or intriguing character. I don't see many people going back to rewatch Captain Marvel. Dark Phoenix, another terrible 20th Century Fox film. Making films like that is what led it to go so broke, or so deep in debt, or so deep in the shitter that Disney bought Fox and took the Fox out, and now it's 20th Century Studios because of films like Dark Phoenix, among other movies. X-Men Apocalypse, and that list goes on. Glass. I know some people like that. It was a terrible, awful sequel to Unbreakable, where all they did is sit in an institution to be told they're not heroes, even though we know they're heroes or villains or they got powers because we've seen them in previous movies because we're not stupid. And then to end with, well, actually, Bruce Willis and you from Split, you're not going to really have a fight. You thought you were going to have a fight. Not really. Instead, Bruce Willis is going to die from drowned in a puddle this big, and then this guy's going to get shot. So all this build-up felt like it was nothing. I don't get what the hell the big point of it was. And for some reason, people thought this was a satisfying sequel to Unbreakable. What movie did you see? Because I didn't see it. Hellboy, awful remake, reboot, I should say. That even the director who did The Descent and Dog Soldiers, even he thought the film sucked. He has done interviews where they took the movie away from him and no one would listen to him, especially the execs, and even he hates that movie. I don't blame him, because they didn't know what it wanted to be. 1 minute, there's a bunch of dead kids in this big demon whatever freezer. The next minute, he's chasing after this alien, this baby, like, baby's day out, gone to hell, pig face but baby body, goofy ass sequence. My God. Wonder Woman 84. Chris Pine taking over a body and then Wonder Woman having sex with it, and you're thinking, well, this guy's body, where did he go? Is he trapped in there? Is his soul just wandering, going, wait, I'm having sex with Wonder Woman, I don't even get to enjoy it? You're using my body. My body's not a condom to be used by you, Chris Pine. There's a lot of other things wrong with it. Bloodshot, Vin Diesel, hoping, praying to find another franchise because he knows he can't do Fast and Furious forever, and Bloodshot failed because it was very generic. And the trailers showed the whole movie. Birds of Prey, awful, lame fight sequences. Birds of Prey was a ripoff of Deadpool 1 and 2. You put Deadpool 1 and 2 together, it's Birds of Prey. The way it's directed, trying to be that type of humor, even the plot. How a chunk of the movie is told in flashback form, just like the first Deadpool. And then her trying to take care of this younger kid, just like Deadpool, try to protect this younger kid in Deadpool 2. Terrible villains. Margot Robbie was annoying as hell. The other sidekicks were much better. The fight scenes, awful. Some people have done some neat videos on showcasing just how awful those fight scenes are, choreography-wise. Shang-Chi, Bulletproof Month 2, prove me wrong. Black Adam, The Rock, his ego went down the toilet, and his career's not in the toilet yet, but Black Adam didn't help. Because I've heard stories that Black Adam, that was just kind of The Rock hoping to get much more of a push in the DC market and try to have more control, and it didn't work. Because no one gave a crap about Black Adam. Most people didn't know who the hell he was. A lot of people are tired of seeing The Rock. There's another guy. The Rock is a perfect example. Superhero movie fatigue, just like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson fatigue. How can we miss you if you don't go away? And a lot of the movies you made recently have been pretty damn bad. San Andreas, Rampage, Black Adam, that one you did with Ryan Reynolds, Red Notice. I can't remember the last movie you did worth a crap that you starred in. So you gotta attach yourself to all these franchises. I was in G.I. Joe. I'm going back to Fast and Furious. I get to be part of DC. Whatever. Morbius, it was a joke. And people thought it was a joke. Doctor Strange 2, cut Doctor Strange. Ant-Man 3, boring. The Flash, took Batman, Michael Keaton, out in the back, screwed his brains out of his batsuit, cut him, fucked him, put him in a basket, walked him down the street like a French poodle. Also changed his name to Fifi. Fee Fi Fo Fum, fuck the Flash, because it's dumb. The Eternals, if you want a good night's sleep, and you don't have NyQuil, you can watch The Eternals. The Marvels, NyQuil Part 2, Blue Beetle. If you want to see them get this big Blue Beetle device where there's a stink gadget where stinky stuff comes out of his ass. If you want to see a very generic movie, but the only difference is it has Hispanics. So what? I don't care. What's interesting about the movie? What's interesting about the villain? What's interesting about the story? Because I didn't see any of it. It felt very bland and generic. Black Widow? Most people probably forgot there was a Black Widow movie. I know I did. Film made way too late. And a lot of these are like cookie cutter movies of Marvel where they have a recipe, they follow it through. The director doesn't even have a hand in the action scenes because it's been let out that a lot of times those directors don't even shoot the action scenes. They have, oh no, don't worry about it. We'll shoot the action scenes. You worry about this. So how much of a passion control do you have that you don't even have any words on the action? Special effects that there's wonky stuff going on, where sometimes the CGI, either the R's not given enough time, or there's some money laundering going on. I don't know. And some of these movies don't seem like they look like the budgets they have. They look a lot cheaper than whatever the budgets are saying. And not only that, but the TV shows like She-Hulk, didn't She-Hulk have like a $200 million budget? That show? Don't look it. And WandaVision and Loki, which I think is the end of season 2, and so everywhere you look, it's not just Marvel, but a DC or another superhero movie. And it's like, you either remind a lot of the bad ones of recent years. And yeah, I mean, that's another thing. There's always been superhero movies when you think about it. Or at least for a good chunk of time. Because 89, you had you had the Superman movies throughout the years and Supergirl in the late 70s and throughout the 80s. You had Batman 89. Then you had Captain America 1990. You had The Punisher in 89. Comic book movie, not superhero, but then you had the Rocketeer. You had these guys based on the pulp comics, Dick Tracy. Then you had Judge Dredd with Stallone. Then you have Blade, X-Men, Spider-Man, those sequels, Daredevil, Elektra, Catwoman, Hulk from 2003. X-Men sequels, Wolverine, his own franchise. So there still would be superhero films coming out, but it didn't feel like an onslaught. We're just inundated on so many from so many different companies or organizations, where Marvel, what do I have, like 3 a year, maybe 4 a year, and then Sony has some, and then maybe Warner Bros. DC has some, and then maybe this company, hey, we got one too. So now they come out of the woodwork. It's like, here's another. Okay, here's another. Okay, here's an. Okay, I did it. Do I see something else for action? That's why a film like Bullet Train felt refreshing. I think a lot of audiences, Nobody, and before John Wick, felt refreshing. So again, you have a lot of bad movies. Again, I'm sure most of these are good. They're like, okay. But it's a bad movie fatigue, and even then, superhero movie fatigue. It's too many. It's too many, and it's too many bad ones. How do you fix it? Quality, not quantity. That's how you fix it. Have 2 really good ones and not 5, 6, 7 bad ones. Or make 3 and make sure those 2 are really, really, really good. Quantity and quality, take your pick. I think most people say the quality is the more important one. For them, it's quantity because they're hoping that, we'll get some buzz with this, and if that doesn't work, then this will work, and if that doesn't work, then this will work. It's like being a gambler and having 3, 4 spots to make sure at least one of them's got to be a winner, one of them's got to be the jackpot. The only pot you're smoking, you lay off. Leave out the doobies. And so many times say this, and it's a repeated effort. Stop with the damn agenda, woke, political crap, because people are sick and tired of it. And stop lying to your audience, or stop manipulating them, or start making entertainment first and foremost. Find writers and directors who are actually passionate, competent, and have a bit of common sense. I know it's a rare form nowadays, so if that's the case, just don't make any more for 5 years, and maybe some of them will grow. Let the air breathe so the stink goes away and the fresh air comes in. And maybe some people rise to the top and be a big old nice piece of crop to flourish the scene again. But good luck with that. Good luck with that. So again, there are too many superhero films. There have been superhero films throughout the years, but never this many. And then a lot of them end up being bad. Yes, that's subjective. It's my subjective. It seems like based on the box office numbers, a lot of people seem to have the same damn opinion. Go figure. Granted, I think a lot of films in general suck. Now, especially nowadays. But you know me, I'm usually harsh on stuff. Unlike Kevin Smith that cries at every damn trailer. Oh my god, it's a superhero? He's got a costume? Shut up. So. I had to write all those names down of the films because I know I forget. And again, let's face it, nothing's going to change anytime soon. I could say all this for another 2 hours. It's not going to change because Hollywood, they're stubborn. They go, well, we'll let them think they're winning. But give, a little bit, then we'll pull, you know what, it's died down. It's a vocal minority. Well, a lot of them are, oh, they're not seeing it because of, the pandemic is long gone. You can't use that as excuse. People don't, Madam Web is bombing. People don't know who it is. Who the hell's Madam Web? They watch marketing, it didn't intrigue them to go see the movie. Nah, I'm good. If I desperately need to see it, I'll see it on streaming. Hell, a lot of films, I mean, you just wait a few months, it'll go on streaming anyway. Like, and a quick turnaround, I meant. Very quick turnaround. So it's like, oh, why do I want to go through all the trouble, go see it in the theater when I'll just wait. I already have this service, I'll be there eventually. If not, then there are other ways. But yeah, Madam Web, like, who cared about it? Who wanted to see it? See, if you want to sell a product, you have to make sure it's a product that people actually want to buy in the first place. That's usually one of the most, the bottom base of how to sell something is to look at it and go, does anyone want this? Who wants this? And go towards the audience that would actually want this. Is there a desire for the product? If there's no desire for the product, then who do you think is going to pay for it? Who do you think is going to buy it? Supply, demand, you have to make sure there's a demand for it. And then give them the supply. No one demanded a Madam Web. No one demanded Kraven the Hunter. No one demanded Morbius, the movie. No one demanded these films. So you supply them, and they sit there and they collect dust. Until they go to the bargain bin. After Morbius bombed, they should have just completely stopped what they were doing, but no. Because you have people who don't have a lot of life experience, who think their shit stinks because Hollywood wants to kiss people's ass because, well, you're a woman and you're a man of color and you're this and that and I can't be mean, I can't be rude, I can't be objective, consecutive, subjective. Oh, I gotta be like the pussy ass Chris Stuckman, and now I'm not gonna review this and that. You're a fucking critic. Ooh, I said some words that people don't like. Tough titty. Chris Suckman. God. That's a whole other thing. I'm not going to review Madam Web. I'm going to talk about the backdrop. No one gives a fuck. They looked at the video to see what you thought of the film. Hell, Chris Stuckman, let me tell you something, buddy. You'll never see this video. You would weep at the comments I've gotten in my tenure here on YouTube. In my little dinky channel. Whether it be death threats, whether it be people getting mad and wanting to kill my mom, wanting to find and do all this other stuff. Actual words. You either do one or two things. You either quit, or you say, you know what, I'm going to keep going. And I've kept going. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is giving an opinion on a movie. There's no right or wrong, because it's an opinion on a movie. I don't say this on every video, but I say it when I can. Any movie, I know we're talking about a different subject, but any movie that you like, watch any movie for yourself. Because it may be a film that you like or dislike, but you're not going to know until... Well, you can have a general idea, to be fair, but if you're that intrigued about a movie that you see a review, then go see it for yourself just in case. You may have a good inkling, but it could always surprise you. But to say, oh, because Chris Steppen is directing films now, and since he's directing films now, he doesn't want to ruffle feathers. I'm going off tangent, that's a whole other thing, but anyway. Like I was saying, any subgenre has fatigue when you overload the audience on a specific product, on that specific section. And again, look at, are people demanding it? Are people wanting it? It's funny how Hollywood will give things that people don't want, but refusing to give what people do want. How many people wanted a Batman Beyond movie? Hell, how many people, including me, wanted an R-rated, violent, gritty Ninja Turtles movie? But instead, you give people Madam Web and Craven the Hunter. Granted, different companies to be fair than the other stuff, but just this is what you give them. But this is what people are demanding. You don't listen. You're too stubborn. You think, well, this time it'll work. You know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing and over again but expecting a different result. But that's Hollywood in a nutshell. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So there's no magic button to change things. Yeah, it's easier said than done. Make better movies. I could always say the hell, there's movies that are good that don't get seen, but that's happened a lot throughout the years. But at the same time, sometimes that has to happen, and these things don't work overnight. Regardless if it's a hit or not, you have to. If you make movies that it seems a lot of people like and care about, even if it's not a hit right away, then they say, well, wait a minute, I did like that, and I like that, and I like that. So now this next one comes out. You know what? I don't take a chance. These other ones I saw at home, but I like the track record so far. I'm going to go take a chance to see this in the theater. Hell, look at the first John Wick. The first John Wick made money, but wasn't this $100 million hit. Then you see the sequel. More money. The third one made more money. The fourth one, however I feel about it, made a ton of money. Word of mouth. That's why I think if they made a Dread sequel, it might actually done better because of the nice word of mouth. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. What do I know? But yeah, when you make so many movies, so many superhero films, and then on top of that, a lot of them, in my opinion, are bad films, what do you expect? Oh, I'm not a big fan of chocolate. But then you keep giving me this candy bar that I don't like. Oh, this candy bar I don't really like either. Oh, you know what? How about I just don't do it at all? I just don't eat the chocolate at all. Are we vanilla or something else? And that's where people are voting with their wallets. Don't go see Madam Web. Don't see other people. Don't see these other movies. So, It is what it is. And people walking outside coughing and stuff. They're probably coughing because they're hearing this bullshit, and they're like, their lungs are trying to steep out of their asshole. I don't blame them. I know my brain and my eyes are trying to seep out of my nose and out of my orifices. Because even I'm getting fatigued. Talking about superhero fatigue. I bet a lot of you are tired of it too. I'm not just some crazy guy who is the only person to ever think this in life. It is what it is. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.